about my voice is really rough right now because I've been talking a lot. But um, we want to give you one recommendation, and we'll repeat this later because not all of you are in. But you probably want to watch this video full screen. So if you can make the video full screen, you'll see what we're going to do a presentation. We're going to share our screen. You'll be able to see what we're talking about at full screen. If you're not full screen, you may have trouble reading. That's all. Okay, so let's start. So you and I were talking about credit card fraud. And I was saying that usually when somebody compromises your credit card, you can go to the last charge you made. That's probably where it happened. Like a restaurant you just tried out or something. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was waiting for you to finish.
No. And then you said for what, 10 years?
I've had this idea for how to guarantee online credit card purchases don't get compromised. I don't know. When did Sony, their PlayStation network, get hacked?
Oh, it's been hacked so many times, dude.
I know. Well, whatever.
I don't even know which one you're talking about.
No, where everyone's credit cards were compromised. That was what, 5, 10 years ago? I don't know. Somewhere between 5 and 10 years.
All right. So you've had this idea between 5 and 10 years. You shared it with me, and I was literally blown away. By the way, if you came for something else, all we're going to talk about is how to fix credit card hacks and what a foolproof method is. I'm as impressed with this idea as it was with two-step verification.
Here's the thing. There's nothing that special about it. It's so simple that you would go, wait, why aren't they doing this? It's simple. It's not anything. I didn't invent anything. I just said, if I was going to implement a system, what would it look like? And I came up with this. And it's not like I had to invent something to make this system work. I just pulled ideas from other places that have already been used, put together this thing. So it's just a combination of things that are already out there being used in a very specific way, and it'll guarantee that when you make credit card purchases online, that you never have to worry that someone hacks the merchant's database and get your credit card number. In fact, the information that they store on you can be stored in plain text, doesn't have to be encrypted.
Really? Okay, so to explain this to people, do you want to show them your desktop first?
Yeah, no, let's walk through it.
Okay.
So let me share my screen.
Once again, if you're not watching widescreen, full screen, I recommend you go full screen because the desktop version he's showing shows up better at full screen. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right. Can you see the screen okay?
Yep, I can see everything.
Awesome. Okay. So there are 3 people involved in any credit card purchase, right? There's you with your credit card here, and this is what this is. There's your bank who gave you the credit card. And then there's the merchant that you're going to buy things from. Okay. So this might be Amazon or Sony in this case or whatever. Okay. So what you do is, so the way in which, say you want to sell things and you want to accept credit cards, you get what's called a merchant account, right?
Right.
So when you sign up for your merchant account, instead of just getting your merchant account, you're going to get 2 numbers. You're going to get a public and private merchant ID. Okay. And these IDs you're going to keep the private one private and the public one you give out to anybody. Okay. Now the only people who know about the private is the merchant and the bank. Okay. And that private ID is what the merchant's going to use to charge you. Okay. Now, same thing with the credit card. Huh?
I have a question. Can I ask?
Go ahead.
Okay. So that number that you can give out to anybody.
That's the public. That's why it's called the public.
I'm buying something. Do I also give that number when I buy?
No, wait. Just let me go through this, and then you can ask questions.
That's why
I'm going to answer that.
Yeah.
I'm going to answer that.
Okay.
So now there's another set of numbers that you want to keep private, and that's your own credit card number. You don't just give that out to anybody, right? So imagine you have an online credit card and it's just for online purchases. That's what this is good for. You can't use it, go down and fill up your car with gas, and you can't use it at the restaurant. This is only for online. Okay. So you take that number and you don't give it to the merchant. You can't trust the merchant with that number. The bank and you, that's a secret between you and the bank. Okay. The same way the
true
private
credit card number.
what?
You're saying the true credit card number is between you and the bank.
The credit card, your credit card number is a secret that you and the bank know
Got it.
only. And then
Got
there's a secret that the merchant and the bank know. That's their private merchant ID. Okay.
Right.
Now, the public one, they give out to everyone. Okay. So here's what you do. The bank knows the public and the private. So here's what happens. Say you want to do you want to purchase something. So in the beginning, the merchant got issued. This is number one, the first step. They get issued their IDs. Now you are here with your credit card number and you're on their website and you request their merchant ID. So that is given to you by the merchant, and it's the public version, not the private one. Okay. So now you have their public merchant ID. And the next thing you want to do is you want to say to the bank, I want to authorize this merchant to charge me. So that's this third step here. Okay. You give the bank the public merchant ID and and your credit card number. Okay. That's your secret that you share with the bank, the credit card number. You notice you didn't give it to the merchant. So what the bank does is it says, oh, okay, let me see. Do you have you already authorized? No, you haven't. Okay. So let me create an authorization number for you. And it gives you a merchant authorization. So it's a merchant specific authorization number that you get from the bank. Now, that's the number you give to the merchant, not your credit card. Okay. So when you go to purchase something, number 5, you give the merchant this merchant specific authorization number that the bank has associated with the merchant and your credit card. The bank is the only one who knows that the credit card and the merchant are connected now through this authorization number.
Through that special number.
Yeah. And that number can be told to anyone because it can't be used to charge your account without the private. So I'll show you that in a minute. Okay. So number 5 is you want to purchase something. So you give it the authorization number. Now the merchant can store that if they want, number 6 here, and they can store it unencrypted in their database because it's useless to anyone. Some hacker gets in there, gets all the authorization numbers. They can't use it because they don't know the merchant's private ID.
Right.
Now, it's in the merchant's best interest to keep that private ID secret. It's not much in their interest to keep your credit card number secret. Yeah, it is and it isn't, right? Oh, oops, we leaked all these credit card numbers. But if they leak their private merchant ID, the bank can punish them. The bank will be like, hey, you got to keep that thing secret. Otherwise, you might lose your merchant account. Now, they don't want that to happen. So they're going to protect the hell out of that number.
Right.
Okay? So now you've got the merchant, right? It's got his authorization. So he wants to charge you now. That's number 7. They give the bank the private merchant ID. That proves that this is coming from the merchant because only people who know that ID are the bank and the merchant.
Right.
And they give the authorization number that they got from the customer, and they give the amount of the transaction. And the bank then takes that private merchant ID, looks it up, takes the authorization number, looks at it, see if there's an association that's been created. Oh, there it is. Yep. That person authorized you the merchant, because you could give this authorization number to another merchant. They could try to use their private ID, but it wouldn't work because I created it with the merchant's public ID.
Got it.
So the bank knows both public and private, so it knows which merchant that we're talking about.
Right.
So that number can only be used by that merchant. And now the transaction goes through. A hacker comes along and grabs all this, not going to do the hacker any good because they can't use them. Okay. The other thing is you should be able to revoke, like Planet Fitness, right? Think about that. You log on to Planet Fitness and you have to jump through flaming hoops to get out of their contract. and you're like, I don't want to be renewed every month. It's a month to month. I want to get out of this. I don't want you charging my credit card anymore. The only way I got
Right.
out of my credit or out of my Planet Fitness was, well, I was lazy. Number one, I had it just as an extra workout because
Right.
I go to a different gym, and I was going to this one just so it was local where I could do like run, 3 to 5 miles on the treadmill. And it was like $10 a month, and I was being lazy. But then my credit card, once again, somehow got hacked, and I got a new one, and so they can't charge my account anymore. Well, here you could get out of that bullshit right away by just revoking authorization. So you revoke the authorization that you had.
Okay.
You actually, so I take this back. This is a flaw in my design. This should be the merchant public
You're literally
ID
fixing it
and
in the middle of the video.
credit card number, right? Because you're not going to remember the authorization number. You're not going to remember that, but you will be able to get the merchant's public ID at any time. You could even go to your bank and look it up. And the credit card number, So you're just going to be
Right.
like, you know what? I want to revoke this. And then all of a sudden they can't charge you anymore. So you can remove that when you don't like these subscriptions where they're constantly, and you have to send some letter and you have to mail it in the mail, like some old school kind of communication. They make it difficult for you to get out of contracts. This would just pull the plug on them and they can go to hell. So anyway, that's it. It's
All right,
nothing
so let
like
me
there's nothing here that's
we gotta
new.
walk through. I gotta have you walk me through. Okay.
Yep.
And I'm gonna talk to you every step of the way because stupid people like me still don't understand. Okay.
Okay.
I kind of understand, but I just want to double make sure.
Go ahead.
So I walk into Planet Fitness with my credit card.
No, this is online only. So
Oh,
you're right.
online,
You
okay.
don't understand.
I go to planetfitness.com.
.com. Thank you.
Right. I
Yes.
sign up for their once a month $10 BS. Okay. I give them my credit card number. Is that what I do? What do I do?
No.
That's what I'm trying
You
to find
weren't
out.
listening. All right, you get a
No,
big
I
fat
was
F.
listening. I
You
know
weren't
that to
listening.
know.
You weren't listening, dude. You weren't listening. You
Okay.
never give out your credit card number. That's a
Got it.
private secret that you and the bank know about. No one else.
So what number do I give them
You
online? What number
You-
do I give in
okay?
the box?
Hold on. I'm going to go through this again. Okay.
Well, I
When
know I want you to
let
go
me
through
it
it like a
again
normal
because you don't
person.
understand. You don't understand. Let me go through it again. I don't mind. When the Planet Fitness got the okay to accept credit cards, they get what's called a merchant account already. Okay. So my thing is part of that merchant account, you get a public and private merchant ID.
Right.
Okay. So far, so good.
So you get these two numbers, public and private, from the bank.
Do you see this arrow right here that's highlighted? Are you looking at your screen? Because I
Hold on
can't
a
see
minute.
you.
Where are you? I can't see where you're at.
See, you're not paying attention. You
I-
got to look
I
at the
wasn't
picture.
looking at. I was looking at you.
I drew a picture specifically for you, Jack. And you're
Shoot
not
me!
looking.
Shoot me for looking at you while you were talking to me.
Don't look at me.
Last week you
Mute
yelled
me.
at me because I looked away from you. Now
No.
you're yelling at me because I'm looking at your diagram.
Well, what the hell? What'd I make a diagram for then? To
I
not
didn't tell
be
you to
looked
make a
at?
damn diagram.
Look at the damn diagram.
You're still gonna need to walk me step by step.
Right. Okay. But look at number one right here.
Right.
You
Okay.
get the bank issues where follow the little line. Here we go. Oh, look, it ends up at the merchant.
Okay. So it gives them a merchant number.
Public and private. Can you
Right.
read this text? Is it too small?
For me, yeah, my eyesight's not that great.
Okay, cool. I'll read it to you. It
Okay.
says issue public and private merchant ID. So notice the line goes from the bank to the merchant.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right.
Okay. So
No.
they're all set up. They're ready to go now. They're ready to do business.
Got it.
Okay. Now you come along and you go to their website. Here you
Right.
are over here with your
What
little
number?
credit card number, which is a secret that you and the bank know about. This private number that the merchant has is a secret that the merchant and the bank know about. Okay. The bank
it.
knows all the secrets. Okay.
Got it.
All right. So now you with your little credit card number are over here and you want to do business with this merchant over here. Let's say it is Planet Fitness. And you
Okay.
say, hey, Planet Fitness, I want to do this transaction. And Planet Fitness goes, oh, here's our merchant ID. Here's the merchant ID. Okay. So you get the
Right.
merchant ID and you create an authorization. So you authorize the merchant by giving the bank the public merchant ID and
Right.
your secret, the secret you
Right.
guys share, your credit card number. Now, that's important too, because I don't want just anybody to talk to the bank
Yeah.
and say, hey, I want to create an authorization. And this is what ties the authorization to the credit card
Got
account
it.
right here.
All
Okay.
right. Now I understand.
So that's number 3. That's a third step. And the fourth step is the bank returns back to you over here, going from the bank to you.
What number are we on?
Number 4,
Got it.
you get that's the merchant authorization. So the merchant specific authorization number comes to you. The bank has associated the merchant and you under that number. Okay. So
Okay.
it knows that the only person who can charge you is the merchant, and they charge this credit card account. Okay. So that's
Got it.
totally associated.
Okay.
And that's associated under this authorization number. Now, that's what you give the merchant. So here's the purchase, this step right here, where you're about to purchase something from them. You give them the merchant specific authorization number that you got from the bank.
Now I got to stop you. Am I gonna have to keep track of all these merchant
No, I
numbers?
just told you. That's why I changed this revoke, because I'm like, you're not going to keep track of the authorization. The authorization number is only temporary when you're setting
Got
up.
it. Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Right. Now, here's what happens when you go to authorize the merchant. The bank's going to look to see if there's already an authorization. If it is, it's going to give you the same number it gave you last time. Right.
Right.
So it's going to go, oh, you've already authorized this person. So this way you don't have to keep track of it. The bank keeps track of that for you. You go through the same steps all the time.
Right.
Okay. So now you're ready to purchase. You've got your merchant specific authorization number that you got from the bank. Then the bank has associated you and the merchant with that number and that number only. No other transactions can happen with that authorization number. It can only happen between the merchant and you. Okay.
Right.
So now you give that to the merchant. And the merchant's like, cool, now I can charge you. Now he talks to the bank, but notice he gives the private up here, number 7. He gives the private merchant ID. That
Right.
authenticates him as, hey, this is a valid transaction because that's the merchant, right?
Right.
Now the bank is looking at the private ID and it's making sure that the public ID that I use to authorize you matches the same merchant. So the bank knows that this merchant over here has a public and a private. So if I give the bank a public for Sony, but then some other merchant, Planet Fitness, tries to use it with their private, it won't match. There'll be a mismatch. It'll be, wait a minute, this was authorized with a public ID of Sony, but now it's trying to be charged using the private ID of Planet Fitness.
Got it.
Reject. Right?
Right.
Okay, cool. So now the merchant.
It's almost like the merchant also has a credit card number for
Yeah,
you.
that's their private merchant. They're
The
secrets.
two numbers
These
come
are
together.
secrets. Think of them as secrets, right? That you don't want to give out. And the bank knows all the secrets, right?
Okay.
So the bank goes, oh, I know. Yep, you're private. Oh, you're Planet Fitness. Okay, let me take that authorization number. Okay, here's the public. Oh, that's Planet Fitness's public merchant ID. Yep, Planet Fitness. They match. Great. Transaction can go through. And it also knows when it authorized, it knows your credit card number. See that over here on number 3? So the bank knows everything.
Right.
And the bank can be trusted. The merchant can't be trusted. Clearly, we've got a
You
decade
did that with a straight
more,
face. Very good.
right? We got a decade or more of them that you can't trust the merchant. So
Right.
think about this. It costs the bank how much money to put out new credit cards, to deal with fraud every day, transactions they have to honor somehow. They paid somebody, right? They lose all kinds of money that way. Well, then nobody loses this way. Your credit, unless you're an idiot and don't keep your secret, and now that's on you, or your merchant's an idiot and doesn't keep their secret, then that's on them. But I don't like me giving my secret to you and then you fucking drop the ball. I don't want that, because it's my secret. I'm the one who's going to get damaged if you leak my secret. So this is a system that each person has secrets that they want to keep,
Right.
right? That if they don't keep, hurts them, not someone else,
Right. Right.
right? The bank
So
keeps all the secrets, right? That's important to them.
right.
Every secret, the private merchant ID and the credit card number, those are secrets the bank keeps. And the bank doesn't want to accidentally pay out money and then lose that money. So they keep those secrets. You
Okay.
keep your credit card number a secret because you don't want anybody to use it to make charges. So you keep that a secret. The
Right.
merchant keeps their merchant ID a secret because they don't want to lose their merchant account if that thing
Right.
gets leaked out
Right.
too many times,
Right.
right? Because then I can hold the merchant as the bank. I can hold the merchant responsible. I can say, "Well, you leaked your private merchant ID. These transactions are on you. You need to pay." So now the merchant has all the reason in the world to protect the hell out of that. And the bank isn't out any money. You're not inconvenienced running around the internet trying to think of all the accounts that are associated with your credit card anymore.
Right.
And the minute you want to get out of a monthly charge, you don't have to go through any bullshit canceling. You just revoke the authorization right here on number 8. You just, I
Right.
don't want to go through their website. I don't remember how to log on or anything. I'm seeing this transaction on my credit card bill. I'm just going to go to the bank and to my bank account, and I'm going to look for all the authorizations, and I'm just going to cross that one off and revoke it.
Okay. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I want to talk about what it looks like in the real world. So let's say you sat at your desk right there and you go to planetfitness.com. Just talk with me about this, not the diagram, just what am I going to do to sign up? I'm
You're
sitting at
going
the
to go to
computer.
pay. You're going to go to pay, let's say, right?
Yes.
So you would go to pay. And then, here's the thing. Every single website could have a slightly different interface. This is a protocol.
Right. Right.
This is
Right.
a protocol, not an interface.
Okay.
Okay. This
So
is the
what's the first
protocol.
thing I do if I want to sign up? I give them what
You
in their
would,
website?
right. So you want to authorize them, right?
Okay.
Okay. So you want to authorize them. Then what you would do is you would go to another tab, go to your bank, right? Create an authorization. You get their public merchant ID. They would put that on the screen on their page for you.
Got it.
Okay.
So
And
you would
then
give both numbers then, huh?
to your bank.
Right. Exactly.
Yes.
To
So you're
sign
over
up for
here
Planet
talking to your
Fitness.
bank. You're over here talking to your bank saying, all right, I'm about ready to authorize this
This
merchant
merchant. Yeah.
to charge me. And the bank goes,
Right.
all right, well, give him this number. And when he uses that number, I'll know he's authorized.
So that's kind of like a temporary number, huh?
No, it's not temporary. It's sort of like a contract
Right.
between you, and an association between you and the merchant. You're doing business. Okay. And then the minute you don't want to do business, you revoke it. Now we're not
Right.
doing business anymore.
So you just go to your bank's website and revoke that
And
merchant.
revoke it. And then you don't have to, right? Then they can't charge you anymore. And now they're going to be like, hey, we can't charge you. We're going to close your account. Close away. Thank you, Planet Fitness.
So now really quick, how come the hacker can't do anything?
Because the merchant is, if assuming the merchant keeps their private ID private,
Right.
those authorization numbers must come. Look at number 7, must come with a private merchant ID. You have to
Right.
prove that you are the merchant, and only the bank and the merchant know that secret. So if you
Right.
give me that, you must be the merchant, or you didn't keep it safe, and then you're still responsible for it.
Yeah, and they're gonna have to issue them a new merchant number.
A new private.
Right.
They would have to issue a new
Exactly.
private one, not a new
Okay.
public one. Public one, everyone can know.
The beauty of this system, so many times I want to stop subscriptions.
Yep.
They got my credit card. They keep charging me. Credit card company's like, well, you gave permission.
Now,
Like,
this doesn't
don't,
work at a restaurant. This doesn't work great at a restaurant, honestly.
well, you don't usually pay
You
for a
use a
restaurant
different
online.
credit card for your restaurant than you do an online. So think about this. You'd have an online credit card that
Yeah.
you would use for your online purchases.
Tammy and I have one.
Right.
We
And
have a special card just for internet purchases.
right. And the problem is that can get leaked, and it does get leaked. It gets compromised. This database over here in blue, that thing's going to get hacked. It just is.
Right.
So it hack away. The only person so here's the thing. The only person who gets hurt if the merchant is 100% hacked is the merchant, because the private
Right.
ID got hacked. Now,
Right.
it's in their best interest to protect themselves because they're the ones being hurt. When you give a merchant your credit card number, it's not in their best interest to protect it. Yeah, they probably don't want a bad rep, and they're going to have to send out an apologies, and it is a pain, but they're not hurt. They're not directly hurt. They're indirectly hurt. You're directly hurt by the fact that your credit card is out there now. And now the bank is issuing you a new credit card, right? You got to wait 7 days for that thing to come in the
You
mail.
got to
And you
print
have
it
to
all over
activate
again.
it. Then you run around the internet trying to look for every place you have your credit card and change it. And oh, it's a big pain in the ass. Why? Why do I have to go through all that shit when it's some stupid ass merchant who hired a bunch of people out of India, or some local people who don't, some cousin or a friend of a friend who doesn't know how to
Security.
properly secure my information, and it gets leaked out. Like,
So you're saying if my information gets stolen with this system, I don't have to go back all over the internet to every single website to give
no,
them
no,
the
no, no,
new
no.
credit.
If it gets stolen, look, your authorization numbers are public. They're
Right.
public. You can't steal public information. You can make those public. You could put them on a billboard and it wouldn't matter because you can't use it without the merchant ID.
And they would have to steal the merchant ID and the public information for every single person. It's not a clean sweep.
No,
It's a
they'd
lot
have
of
to steal.
work.
No. If they stole these numbers in the merchant's database, they're useless to anyone until they get the merchant's private ID. Then they can go to town on every last one of them. But the bank can hold the merchant responsible. That was their
Right.
ID to keep secret. If you want to keep your merchant account, then you're going to be held responsible for these charges.
I
We're
get
not
it.
anymore. The bank is
So we
indemnified.
have no more headaches.
And we have no more headaches. The bank has no more headaches. And the merchant, who's been the one who's been sloppy, won't be sloppy on their own shit. They can go out of business if they're
Right.
sloppy. So there you go.
That's it.
Yep.
Interesting. So, yeah, it's very interesting. It's like we're almost one level away from doing that type of system. We're one
No,
step
we're just like,
deeper.
I don't know why they don't do this. Seems so obvious to me. It's like I said, 5 to 10 years ago, I came up with this because it just irks me every time I have to do this.
What
It's
do
like,
you
I
think of
shouldn't
this
have to
stuff
do
in the
this.
bathroom?
What?
Do you like sit in the bathroom and come up with this stuff?
No, it's when I'm sitting online and I'm cursing at whoever leaked my shit all over the internet. That's when I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I shouldn't have to go through this. No one should. This
No.
isn't that hard. Nothing here I've shown you, right, is groundbreaking. It's all stuff that we already do in other places in tech. It's just never been applied this way.
It's
I don't
never
know
been
why.
done in the credit card industry.
Well, I don't know why. I don't get it, dude. I don't understand. I do not understand.
Yeah, I think, by the way, two-step authentication is some of the best stuff ever. It's like a big leap in security. Not that it's foolproof.
No.
Everything can always be hacked,
Right.
but it sure is hard.
Well, this isn't bulletproof either, but each person who has a secret, it's in their best interest to keep that secret. Whereas
Right.
now the merchant has your secrets. Your secret is what your credit card information is. That's your secret. They have it, right? And it's not in their best interest. If the bank leaks its own secrets, the bank is hurt.
Right.
If you leak your own secrets, you are hurt. If the merchant leaks your secrets, you're hurt. I don't want the merchant having any of my secrets.
Got it. So interesting. I wish there was some way we could explain this system to the credit card companies.
Look, they got
Hopefully they
smart
would.
people. Wait, they got a lot of smart people there. There's a different reason why they don't do this. I don't know what it is because there's plenty of smart people there. Okay. They understand their systems way better than I do. And they might even, if they're watching this, they might look at it and say, okay, well, yeah, he doesn't understand X, Y, and Z. And that's why he thinks this will work. But for those X, Y, and Z reasons, it doesn't work. Right.
Right.
But
No,
there's
I
no
totally get
reason
it.
you can't factor those other reasons in and make it work something like this. There's reasons. It could very well not be a technical reason. right? It could be some other
Right.
business reason or some regulation or who knows, or just inertia. They've
Yeah.
just been doing it this way forever and they're a big company and it's not worth it for them to change everything. I
Right.
don't know, dude. I have no
I don't
idea.
know. The worst part about getting hacked is changing every account in your life.
Right. Right.
That's the one. I gotta go through old credit card statements, go down the list, go to Netflix, go to Amazon, go to
Now
Google.
there's a variation of this that I came up with originally that could work. And it's you do it without the merchant knowing. So what you do is you say to the bank. It's just you and the bank doing this, okay?
Right.
You get together with your bank, and you're like, "You know what, bank? These merchants suck." And they're like, "Yeah, I know. Tell me about it." So you say, "All right, look, every time I want to do an interaction with a merchant, you give me a new credit card number, and I will associate each of those credit card numbers to the merchant, right? And so
That
then we'll
yeah, they're
know."
not gonna do that. I know.
No. It's exactly this system. It just cuts out the merchant, okay, in the process. It
Right.
just cuts out the merchant, and then the bank can then go back to the merchant and go, "You leaked these. You're up. Everything that was billed against this number." Because the only way it's the same thing, but it's not as clean. This involves a merchant. It's a whole transaction. I mean, it's a whole protocol that everyone's involved in. Um, it's a cleaner system, but I'm just saying it could be hacked outside of the existing environment by just using a single credit card for a single merchant and just get a normal credit card number. So that's another, because there's a thing about it. There's a huge amount of inertia for doing this, right? But the
Right.
bank could say, in the next 3 to 5 years, we're going to be using this new system. So better to get on board now.
Right.
And the over that 3 to 5 year period, we're going to charge you more and more every year until you're switched over. So make it a cost, make it painful for the merchants not to switch their systems over.
Alright, I'm gonna predict something. I think our security is gonna go more to, like, thumbprint readers and stuff.
No,
No?
no, no, you
No,
can't. You can't. How can a merchant charge you every month?
no, when you sign up, like, you
Doesn't
know,
matter. Doesn't matter. That how does a merchant just
it's like a
what are you supposed to
CAPTCHA, and you would do your thumbprint, it would
No,
well,
no. That's a secret.
true.
Wait. That's a secret. My thumbprint is a secret,
Yeah, they
correct?
wouldn't have anything to compare it to, you're right.
No.
How
I
would they
don't
know
want
it's your thumbprint?
no. I don't want my thumbprint out there.
Right,
It's my secret,
that's true.
right? So no, you're giving out keys to the kingdom now.
Okay,
This
that's a bad idea, sorry.
Right. So you got to keep your secret secret. That's it. You don't give your secrets to anyone that you don't trust. The only person I trust is the bank in this scenario because the bank
Right,
is the one who's taking the hit. I'm taking the hit and the bank's taking the hit. The merchant, they're
totally
getting off
get it,
scot free.
totally get it, and it also doesn't make you responsible anymore
Well,
in
I've
this
never been
system.
responsible, right?
Well,
Bank
lots of
takes the
banks
biggest
fight
hit.
you on that.
So here's the thing, the bank takes the biggest hit, okay? But I am going to pay for that hit, right? Because that cost is passed on to the customer. So ultimately, I'm taking the biggest hit. I'm taking a direct hit that I have to go to all my accounts and put in new numbers. And I'm taking an indirect hit. The cost of doing business with the bank goes up because
Right.
the bank is operating inefficiently. So
Nope, I totally
that
get
gets
it.
passed off to me as a cost. So you, me, and everybody else listening to this, we pay the ultimate price.
Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can you send me that diagram so I can post it on my personal page?
Why?
Because some people may wanna look more into it.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
when the
No worries.
video ends, they would have to rewind the video and
Yeah. No worries. I can do that. I'm like, it's not, I think it's not, here's the problem with this idea. I go, oh, there's a solution. I'm done. I don't work for a bank. I don't have any power to implement this system. But
nope, I totally get it. Someday, somebody of importance will see this video.
well, no, I don't even think that. I think someone in the right, like you can have a brilliant idea, right? And this, I don't know if this is a brilliant idea. It's not that brilliant. It's an obvious idea in my mind. But you can have an idea like this and go, oh, Yeah, that works. And then you have no way of implementing it, right? You have no power to
Well, you
implement
always
such a thing.
said ideas are cheap,
Implementation is hard.
implementation is tough.
Hard. It's
Yeah,
hard to implement these things. Imagine how many businesses are going to be affected by this kind of a change. It's got to be done over years, and it's got to be worth it to the banks to do it. If the banks really don't care, because they just take the hit, and they're making money hand over fist anyway. They're charging you ridiculous rates, right, on the
oh, yeah,
credit that you're getting. They just, we'll bump it up a percent. We'll get a
right,
few more $1 billion. It'll completely wipe this problem off our books, right? It's not a real problem to them. So yeah, I think I don't think I don't clearly the banks would have solved this already. So
right,
the real question you have to ask is, if this solution's so easy like this, why aren't the banks implementing? They got lots of smart people, like I said. There's plenty of people who thought about this problem long before I showed up. So then why aren't they doing it? Well, they're not doing it because it's not worth it to them. I don't understand their business at all, but I guarantee you. So knowing an idea, having an idea, putting the idea out there, or even someone who does have the power,
right,
clearly they already have the power to tell their smart people, hey, figure this shit out, come up with something.
right,
So
right,
there's
right.
another reason they're not doing any of this. They're not
We just
protecting.
don't know, right.
I just don't know what it is. I'm not in that industry.
It's like figuring out the government.
Yeah, there's always some weird reason. Like technical people like me, when I was younger, I would think, well, what people just are dumb and they're not thinking, and maybe that's it. No, no, there's plenty of smart people. There's a reason. It's just not worth it. It's not a
Right,
big enough problem for them. The day it becomes a big enough problem is the day that they'll implement something around this kind of idea. It'll be like
right.
this. It may not be this, but it'll be
Well,
something like this, or it'll be isomorphic to this at least.
is it okay, next week when we get together, I wanna talk to you about some ideas I have about LinkedIn. Is that okay?
Yeah, yeah. No, I think it's a great idea. I'd love to talk
Okay,
about LinkedIn.
because
LinkedIn's always
once
fun.
again, it's not to bash them. I don't think that's what we want this podcast to be
No, no,
about.
no, no. I always
We
say
only wanna
we can
help.
bash, but we have to come up with solutions. So
Exactly.
yeah, yeah,
Solutions is the perfect word.
yeah.
So, thank you for explaining.
Sure,
I
sure.
will post this diagram across my social media, and then we will talk about, how to fix how I think you can fix LinkedIn and make it one of the top 3 websites to visit. Alright?
Sounds good.
Alright, bro. Talk to you later. Thanks.
All right. Sure thing.
Bye.
Bye.